Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be, well, I mean, this is the third video I've filmed today, but I didn't know I was going to be this busy filming videos today. Sorry, the waistbands, my pants is itching. My waistline, oh my god. Well, I didn't think it was going to be this busy today with me filming stuff, but yeah, it ended up being a busy day. Because I just was behind on my other two reviews that I wanted to do, and now I'm doing this one, so. But we're going to be reviewing the third volume of Love, Death, and Robots. I can't remember, when did the last volume even come out? I think it's been a couple of years. I think we're pretty much just waiting 2 years between each volume. Is that about right? 2019, 2021. Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess we waited 2 years between the first two, and then they must have just had stuff ready for this one already, based on the fact that they had 2 years to develop, or 3 years kind of basically to develop between, right? So yeah, kind of cool that we got a season a year or two volumes a year apart, which kind of shows that I guess Netflix has faith in some of their shows. I wish they had faith in more of them, but I feel like Netflix is the one that's kind of known for, unfortunately, canceling shows that people seem to enjoy far too early based on the fact that it didn't get good feedback, even though there are going to be fans of the show regardless. And just because you don't make, $1 million off of every show doesn't mean you should cancel it, because every show will have a fan base. And I mean, if it gets bad feedback, then it is what it is, right? Like, why wouldn't you just try to continue on and, you know, listen to your audience and go from there and make it better the second time around, or for the second season or second volume or whatever you're going to do. But they, I think they're trying to maybe take on too much right now, because it seems like they're going to be doing, I've heard rumors of they're going to be adding games and stuff, and I'm like, just focus on the show part of it, because I feel like gamers aren't really going to come over to Netflix to be gaming, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Volume 3 of the show, and I'm just going to pull up the actual list of episodes on here and then find something else to watch for the little bit before I go to work. Let's try to find a TV show on here to watch now, because I have quite a few on my list that obviously I want to watch. Trying to think of something I could maybe even restart that I've wanted to review for a while. Actually, I know what I'm going to watch. It just became super obvious to me. Okay, so once we get this loaded here in a second. Right. All right, so Volume 3 was another, actually, I think this was honestly one of my more favorite volumes. So in Volume 1, you remember the robots from I think it was the very first episode. Oh no, maybe not. I guess it was the second episode in the first season with the three robots. Well, they're back now. So it's kind of cool to see them back after, yeah, after a volume of not having them not be there. So I would say that was one of the better episodes in the show. So I'm just going to go over my favorite episodes, because each episode is different, and I think that's cool with these kind of, I guess, they're not really anthologies, are they? But like this type of show where each episode is different, so you don't even have to really go back and watch every episode. You can just pick and choose what you want to watch, which I think is awesome, because there's a whole variety. But I haven't really seen a bad episode from this yet. Sure, there's episodes I enjoy more than others, but the animation is always good in every episode, and I think, yeah, there hasn't really been a terrible episode yet. And they've even had a couple, I think a couple live action ones too. So I'd like to see them do more of that, where they kind of cross the worlds over, because that's always interesting. So Three Robots Exit Strategies was the first episode in this one where the robots are talking about how the humans ended up coming to their demise and how we tried to create different civilizations and those failed and so on and so forth, and we just eventually killed ourselves off, and it wasn't it wasn't humans that made it to Mars, it was cats. So that was quite the twist at the very end of the episode. And then the second one was called Bad Traveling, where I guess they're trying to kill this creature at sea, and the captain of the ship ends up making a deal with it and feeding the entire crew to the ship, or to the creature to feed it, and then get it to the island, and then he ends up betraying the creature at the end, and I believe he killed it, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong about that, but and then episode 3, I'm not even going to talk about that. Episode 4 was... God, I can't even remember what episode 4 was. Night of the Mini Dead. Oh, right. That one was kind of comical, but Kill Them All with the mechanical made bear. That was a pretty insane episode, and absolutely just one of the more violent episodes in the show, where the military guys are trying to defeat this creature that's basically unkillable, that was created by them, but then went AWOL and is now just not listening to commands and just absolutely tearing them apart, and that was just an excellent episode. And then Mason's Rats was episode 7, which was one of the ones that I enjoyed. There's 9 episodes in this season. And yeah, so it was basically like animals are evolving quicker than humans, and the companies that are trying to take out the rats are finding new ways to take them out, and it's just like basically a war in this guy's barn, and he ends up eventually just siding with the rats by the end of it. So absolutely hilarious episode where he decides that he's just gonna side with the rats because he doesn't want to see any more death, I guess, by the end of the episode. So yeah, it was kind of a interesting episode. And then Habaro is maybe the last episode. It was different. These knights travel to this... Now, I'm not really sure what they were looking for, and they just ended up finding this... Now, the way they describe it is... Oh, a siren. They ended up finding this siren, and she ends up just making them basically kill one another. I'm not sure what kind of powers a siren... I guess a siren is a mermaid, right? So she ends up just using her voice to kind of command the soldiers, except one of them is deaf, so he ends up getting away from her, and then she tries to find a different way to seduce him and kill him, and that doesn't work, and then he takes all of the I guess they were kind of like scales in a sense to her, but it was just like she was kind of wrapped in like a bunch of treasure, basically, like gold and so on, and piercings and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like he's killed her, and then the water turns red, and she gets resurrected, and he ends up drinking the water that's been poisoned, and he ends up getting his hearing back, and then she is able to use her powers on him too at the end of the episode. I was like, ah, damn. I was kind of rooting for him to be able to get away, and I was like, don't drink the water in that scene, and I was like, ah, yeah, something's going to happen to him, and not quite what I thought, but I thought he was just going to be poisoned by the water, but he ends up just getting his hearing back and dying in an even worse way, just drowning like the rest of them. So yeah, that was a pretty intense episode and a kind of interesting episode. The animation, I guess, was really supposed to be sticking out in this episode as to looking real, and I would say honestly it was one of the more animated episodes as far as that goes, I guess. Like, it wasn't... I guess maybe the realism of the situation, like in stories actually happening, maybe, I don't know. But I guess maybe that was a more believable thing, as opposed to, obviously, some of them. And I think those were... Yeah, so those were my favorite episodes, and I guess the most interesting episode in the season was obviously the last one, so I'm looking forward to where they're going to take this show if we get another season, obviously in the next couple of years, probably, I would imagine. Other than that, I can't even remember what I rated the first two volumes, but I'm gonna rate this one a 8 out of 10. Um, Actually, that feels a little low, doesn't it? No, I feel that's about right. I can't remember what I rated the first two volumes, but I'm actually able to uh, give shows and stuff a rating now on IMDb, so I make sure I do that. So if this was lower than what I rated the first two volumes, this will probably be my rating going forward anyway of most of the volumes, and maybe that'll change. I might change it as I kind of go with each volume too, just to see, because yeah, I feel like each volume is going to be different, right? So yeah, for volume 3, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 because I feel like that's what it deserves. And yeah, this one was a really interesting volume with plenty of great episodes. So yeah, I would say if you were a fan of the first two volumes, definitely go give this volume a watch. And that's really all I have to say about volume 3, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.